watched it and I had to sit back and watch it with her. All right. And the sad news of the weekend was Seth Rollins' knee injury. That happened on Saturday's night main event, his match against LA Knight. And they're keeping close about the injury for Seth. And Seth was on the Rich Eisen show today. And this is what Seth had to say about his injury.
Our specialists are at. We try to take a look at the knee through some imaging. It was a little too swollen, so we're going to take another look, hopefully in a week or two here in LA, to try to get some sort of firm diagnosis, and then we can go from there. I am not a doctor. I only know my body and what I feel, and what I feel is that this is going to be me out for an extended period of time. We were talking off air earlier, and it is a bummer, but look, it is what it is. Our business moves on. This isn't the first time that I've been injured. It won't be the last time. And I've always just got WrestleMania in the back of my mind. I'm like, can I make it back for WrestleMania?
All right. So that was Seth Rollins on the Rich Eisen show talking about his injury. Now, one thing about this that I found very interesting was on Raw, Heyman's still holding a briefcase, and he says Rollins has till June. And that is something that nobody really exercises, because this is the second time somebody's been hurt with Money in the Bank. And the first time was Mr. Kennedy, and Taker was hurt, so Taker had to drop the title, but then Kennedy was also hurt but got misdiagnosed, so he had to drop the briefcase to Edge. And Kennedy, unfortunately, was back 2 months later, and since he was misdiagnosed. So you always do have a year to cash in Money in the Bank. And I think this is prime storytelling that you can actually pull off with this, with Heyman walking around with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed still holding Seth's Money in the Bank. And you would kind of have to think that Braun is going to be put into position to succeed here. And I'll let you go first. What do you think is going to happen with Seth with the briefcase and Braun Breaker while Seth's out?
Well, with that snippet, you did leave out one part, which is my favorite part of Seth's speech. TJ Jefferson on the Rich Eisen show did ask him, as a man, how are you feeling mentally and everything? Seth's spirit in that interview was great. We've always hear wrestlers always say, like, the injury, the rehab, the pain sometimes isn't the worst. It's what you go through mentally during that. He did say this isn't his first injury and it's not going to be his last, but to be like the focal point on Raw, one of the most important guys, arguably the greatest active wrestler in the square circle when the bell rings, and to be out like that or an injury he's already had, it's got to suck. I'm glad to hear his spirit's good. I was very much looking forward to Raw to see exactly how this is all going to go. I think this means, come on, let's hot shot Braun. Got to get him right up. But him and Bronson were just tagging. Are we going to see them keep tagging? Does he become A and Bronson becomes B? Does this group demolish? I'm interested in seeing how this does go. It was cool to hear, Heyman speak up and, bring up, the thing about the year you mentioning, and people not bring that up all the time. Last time Paul Heyman was associated with the briefcase was when Brock Lesnar had it. If you recall, Brock even said something about weight. He threw the mic at Heyman. He's like, I have a year to cash this thing in. Just being that thing. Yeah, I don't know. I hope a speedy recovery for Rollins, and this definitely, with all the questions looming, makes everything must see for the next several weeks for sure.
Yeah, and I think the perfect way to do this is like I said, Braun gets the rocket ship. Everything for him gets pushed up. And I could see Braun being world champion, or Seth or Braun in the world title match and Seth returning and cashes in during Braun's opportunity. Because like I said, you talked about it. You also said it. This is to set up Braun and Seth. So I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen with that, because Braun is the next face of the company.
Yeah, whether it be April, May, or June. What about Braun finally wins it right then, and then Seth comes in and cashes in?